Hello friends, we are going to discuss a metal ligand bonding in transition metal complexes. In metal ligand bonding in transition metal complexes, there are three important theories: valence bond theory, crystal field theory, and molecular orbital theory. In valence bond theory is purely based on the covalent bond. To form a covalent bond, because the interaction between metal orbitals and its surrounding group of orbitals, that is the overlap of metal orbitals and with the overlap of ligand group orbitals, that is the metal orbital overlap with ligand orbitals, then to form a covalent bond. In case of CFT is purely based on the electrostatic interaction, means ionic bond, to form an ionic bond. Same complex, but these three theories to different the nature of bond between the metal and ligands. And MOT explain the partially ionic character. And covalent character. There is no 100% ionic character in the complex or 100% covalent character in the complex. That is known as the partially ionic character as well as partially covalent character in the complex. These are the basic principles of valence bond theory, crystal field theory, and molecular orbital theory. This different the overlap of the orbitals between the metal and ligands. Here there is only attraction between the metal orbital and ligand orbitals. Here the both attraction and interaction between the metal orbitals and ligand orbitals. Then let us go to crystal field theory. Now the crystal field theory is developed by the Hans Bethe in 1929. This crystal field theory is first proposed by the Hans Bethe in 1929. And this it regarded as regarded as a complex combination of central metal ion and surrounded by the other ions or molecules with electrical dipoles, that is ligands. These ligands are treated as a point charge or point dipoles. Here is treated as a point charges of ligands and dipole charge. The point charges means negative charge, the ligands having negative charge like chlorine, bromine, iodine. These ligands having negative charge. And dipole charges the ligands having, these ligands are neutral. This is neutral ligands. There is no charge on the ligands, but the partially negative charge, that is the partially dipole charge on the atom and partially negative charge on the atom, and therefore in case of ammonia molecule, this is partially positive charge of 3 hydrogen atoms and 3 partially negative charge on the nitrogen atom, and this is known as the negatively dipole ends. Negatively dipole ends. Negative dipole ends or negative dipole charge. Okay, you remember this. So what is meant by point charge? Charges of ligands and dipole charges of the ligands. Okay, then go for what are the assumptions of crystal field theory. Yes. First assumption is ligands act as a point charges. First assumptions, ligand act as a point charges or point dipoles. These are different types of ligands. The ligands having negative charge on the ligands, and this is the neutral type of the ligands. But in neutral type of the ligands, the partially negative charge on the atom and partially positive charge on the different atoms. In partially negative charge is more electronegative atom, and partially positive charge is more or less electronegative charge, that is more positive character. There is difference in electronegativity between the atoms. Generally in these molecules, water molecule or ammonia molecule is different electronegativity of the atoms, and therefore to create say dipoles, one is the partially negative dipoles and second is the partially positive dipoles, dipole end of the atoms. Okay, the second assumption is there is no interaction. There is no interaction between metal orbital and ligand orbital. Metal orbitals and ligand orbitals. There is no interaction. Okay. And third assumption, the d orbitals having same energy. The d orbitals having same energy. There is no splitting. The d orbitals having the same energy. These are the assumptions of crystal field theory. The first assumption is ligands act as a point charges or point dipoles. Second assumption is there is no interaction between metal orbital and ligand orbitals. And third assumption is that the d orbitals having the same energy. The first, what is meant by point charges or point dipoles is for metal ion. These are the okay. There is, for example, fluoro negative dipoles, negative charge on the fluorine atoms, and are the negative or point charges ligands. This is known as a point charges. These ligands are known as the point charges of the ligands. Okay, these are the attraction between metal ion. This is positive charge on the metal ion and its surrounding 6 point charges of the ligands. Second is point dipoles. Is for example NH3. This is the lone pair electron. This is known as the point dipoles. Okay, the point dipoles, negative end of the point dipoles, it is partially negative charge on the nitrogen atom and partially positive charge or end on the nitrogen atoms. This is the point dipoles. What is meant by point dipoles? Point dipole means partially negative charge on the higher negativity of the nitrogen atom and partially positive charge on the less electronegativity of the hydrogen atoms. This is known as the point dipoles. Okay, and this is then there is no interaction between. Second assumptions. What is the second assumptions? The second assumption is there is no interaction between metal orbitals and ligand orbitals. That means attraction takes place. Attraction. There is no overlap. Only attraction takes place between the metal orbitals and ligand group orbitals. And number 3 assumption is the d orbitals having the same energy. This is known as the degenerate orbitals. And what is meant by degenerate orbitals? The degenerate orbitals is degenerate orbital means equal energy. Degenerate orbitals means equal energy. Or same energy is known as the degenerate orbitals. Okay. In absence of or gaseous free metal ions, the energy of d orbital is the same. There is no splitting of d orbitals. It is equal in energy. This is the energy of the d orbitals is represented as E, and the energy of d orbitals is 5 d orbitals. Is first orbital dxy, dxz, dyz. With third is ds x square minus y square, and this is the dz square orbitals. These 5d orbitals having the same energy, and this energy is known as the degenerate energy level. Degenerate energy level. It is same energy of the 5d orbitals. Okay. Next point is the shape of d orbitals. Here, the shape of d orbital is very important. Is the splitting of d orbitals depends upon the type of geometry. That is different type of geometry. Yes. Okay. The splitting of d orbitals depends upon the type of geometry. Then what is the shape of d orbitals? The shape of d orbital is The d orbital is divided into 5 states. How many orbitals? That is dxy, dxz, dyz, dx square minus y square, and dz square orbitals. The dxy orbital is the lobes of dxy orbital is in between the axis. In between the axis. Here the lobes of dxz orbitals also in between the axis. This is x axis and this is z axis. Here this is also same. The lobes of dyz orbitals also in between the axis. This is the one set. This is set 1, and another set is the dx square minus y square orbital. The arrangement of lobes along the proper axis. This is the arrangement. This is the arrangement of the lobes. Is dx and y, and dz square orbital is proper along the z axis. This is the arrangement of orbitals. This arrangement of orbitals in octahedral complexes. Set 1 and set 2. Set 2. These lobes of arrangement are in between the axis. This is also in between the axis. Okay. The lobes of dxy is in between the axis. Also dxz, the lobes of dxz orbitals in between the axis x and z. Also dyz orbitals. These lobes of dyz orbitals also in between the y and z axis. But this is different. Dx square minus y square orbital. These lobes of dx square and y square orbitals is lies along the x and y axis. X and y axis. Also dz square orbital is also lies along the z axis. This arrangement of lobes of d orbital is very important in octahedral complexes. Is in between the axis. In octahedral complexes, this is the octahedral complexes. The lobes of dx is d orbitals. This is known as d square minus y square. The lobes of d square minus y square orbitals proper x axis, y axis and z axis in octahedral complexes. The lobes of d square minus y square orbitals is proper along the axis, x y axis, and dz square orbital is the lobes of dz square orbital along the z axis, and therefore the six ligands are attracted towards the axis, proper along the axis. Is these six ligands are more attracted along the x, y, z axis. This is known as the end-to-end interaction. This is known as the end-to-end interaction. End-to-end interaction. End-to-end interaction. End-to-end interaction means the metal having positive charge. This is metal having positive charge and ligands having negative charge. These ligands having negative charge. The ligands having negative charge, and therefore metals having positive charge, ligands having negative charge, and therefore to form a repulsive force. To form a repulsive force. This is metal is the first is the repulsive force. repulsive force. This is more repulsive force. More repulsive force between the dx square and y square axis orbitals, also dz square orbital. This is the more repulsive force. But in case of dxy, dxz and dyz orbitals, the loss of these orbitals in between the axis, therefore less repulsive force. Less repulsive force. Less repulsive force means less, that is less repulsive force of the dxy, dxz and dyz orbitals. Okay, thanks.